life and death. Life and death.
All right. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Life and Death podcast. My name is Alex. We also have Fern, and we have David.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
And we have video this time for the YouTube viewers. If you're listening in just audio format, if you want to check us out on YouTube, you see our faces and all the mess that we have. Well, the mess that I have behind me because it's a cluttered ass fucking room. But thanks for checking us out. Thanks for tuning in again. In this episode, I want to get into something kind of heavy for me. And this is actually heavy for me. This is why I'm kind of asking if this is a good way to go in, because I've always teetered on some this type of subject in my life. And it's going to be actually about like sobriety or lack thereof, because I'm actually drinking on the podcast right now. I'm drinking Modelo if anyone's interested in what I would be drinking. But yeah, I kind of want to talk about my goal. I'm always setting goals in front of myself. My goal to like within this next year. I'm not starting right away because I know that this time of year, like, I enjoy drinking. It's always for me. It's always been like wintertime where I like to drink the most, and like, you get to be around a fire. It's kind of chilly in the valley and shit. Chill out outside, drink some brewskis, and but I want to talk, like, I just want to say, like, I know when I'm doing too much, I'm not fitting right in my clothes anymore. When my clothes is feeling kind of stuffed, and like I feel like I break a sweat more easily. It's just like, I'm not saying that I drink every fucking day. I don't. Like, I literally drink maybe like, say, 3 times a week. It's towards the weekend time when like my friends come and hang out, and we just chill, shoot the shit in the studio, and like I typically don't drink alone. But I knew it was becoming an issue in my head because one of my closest friends, Eddie Skunk, shout out to Eddie Skunks. He's the type to just like with me, like we're always drinking together and stuff. But he's going through sober October right now.
Is there a particular reason?
He just like he came over. I don't know when it was. Like, it was like literally like October 2nd or something. I had a 6-pack, right, or a 12-pack, and I was like, "We're gonna drink one." He's like, "Dude, nah." I said I was gonna do sober October. I'm like, "You're fucking serious?" I was like, "I thought you were joking because you're fucking like full of shit all the time, right?" He's like, "Nah, man, I'm gonna go sober October." And I legit asked him, like, not even to put anything on his name, like anything bad, just to ask him, like, when's the last time like you went sober longer than like a week, right? He was like, "Fuck, like probably like after high school or something."
Oh, shit.
Dude. No, dude, yeah. And then mind you, like, I'm not trying to put all his business out there, right? But fuck it, like he doesn't even listen to the podcast, so he don't give a fuck. It's only the Ecuadorians that are listening anyway. And so like he's still smoking weed. He just wanted to stop the alcohol, right? And that's cool, that's cool. That's cool, whatever, right? Like Ben, my homie Ben, shout out to him too, another homie from the Nasty Weekend, like crew and shit. He doesn't really drink. So like literally the past 3 sessions, I've just been drinking by myself in the studio. Like, I'm literally getting shit-faced, like, getting drunk. And honestly, like, I'm the type of person who, and y'all know who I am, like, when I drink, like, I like to get, like, in that feeling of, like,
Yeah.
intoxicated and, like, a bad feeling, and, like, I like that little dance within me. I'm like, ooh, getting in that rhythm.
I feel like you like to tiptoe the line too. Like you start getting like tipsy and you're like, okay. And then when you're like you're getting blackout drunk, you're like, okay, I gotta tone it back a little bit. But then because you toned it back a little bit, you're like, wait, I can drink some more. And then you just get to that line where you get aggressive and loud and just
Yeah.
dumb.
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
man.
I cut you off.
No, you're completely right. You're completely right. Well, this is where this is almost like an intervention. I feel like y'all are watching me, and I'm like, damn, dude, fuck it. It's my doing, like bringing it up. But like, I always tend to do this. I go into like, I know I can do it. It's just that I'm always like, the thing that I question myself is like, I always come back to it. I don't know if it's like, I haven't even let y'all talk yet, but I want to ask for your experience. Like as a kid, I remember starting to drink like when I was 14,
Damn.
15, like drinking with my friends and shit. But I remember as a kid, and we've talked about it before on the podcast, like dad always had a fucking 24 pack in the fridge. Like he always had a beer in his hand. When I saw him at home, he was always drinking, and I've seen him fucked up, and I've heard stories and stuff. Like, I don't know if it's necessarily a thing that gets passed down and stuff, right? But like in my life, it's always been like, and then around my cousins, it's always been the meeting my uncles. We always meet up and men drink and we talk and we like, yeah, that's how it is, that whole type of thing.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I
yeah.
love that. Like, I love that. And I'm not trying to take away anything from it. That's just how I was. And no, how are you guys? I don't really know, like specifically. We haven't hung out in a long time, like with spirits and shit. How have y'all been with like? I know we've all drank together, and we all, typically enjoy alcohol at different extents than others, right? Than each other. But
Yeah.
how have y'all been with that?
Really quickly, when you said spirits, I thought you meant ghost, and I was like, "What the fuck is he talking about?" Because
I meant the spirit Halloween stuff.
um, I got into drinking a lot more in college. I feel like I've never been a really big drinker. Like until like recently, I was okay drinking like more than a couple beers, but now like I have more than 3 and I'm already feeling sick. Like my
Shit.
stomach just gets churned up and I just have to go to the restroom, take a shit or something, and then with like stronger alcohol, like I think the only thing I can handle right now is Fireball, just because it's real like light
Oh fuck.
and like flavorful. Like I don't know, like
Yeah.
I'm not really one to just like sit and sip a beer unless it's like in a michelada or like dressed up with like trechas and chamoy and just to mitigate the flavor of beer itself.
Okay, let me ask: does liquor like fall on your stomach better than beer? Like you can go longer with liquor. You don't feel sick with liquor?
Uh, no.
Shit.
Especially
Wow.
especially Fireball. Like Fireball is like I don't know, it just makes your tummy feel warm and good and fuzzy. And beer just makes me
See?
feel like like bloated more than I am already. You know.
Yeah. Oh, dude, funny you say like fuzzy. Just go real quick, and then I wanna know what David thinks about this and like his experience. But my homie Richie that I skate with, like we were when the South Padre Island skate park first opened up. It was like, dude, let's go get some fucking he's like, let's go get some beer or what? And I was like, I don't know. He's like, come on, man, let's go get some fuzzies. And I was like, fuzzies? He's like, yeah, bro, because it makes you feel like warm and fuzzy, you know? And I'm like, dude, fucking fuzzies, bro. And like, he's like, yeah, but let's get this. He was getting like Mike's Hard Lemonade, and like it's the mixed drinks and stuff, dude. That shit was like fucking me up. It's fucking crazy because it tastes so good, it messes you up because of the alcohol content. You don't really know. So like every time me and him meet up, or he'll just randomly message me, fuzzies or what? Just fuzzies. I'm like, God damn. It's funny that you said fuzzy, but
I used to like that jungle juice in high school where it was just like a bunch of Kool-Aid and Powerade and just a mixture of a bunch of drinks, and it always was like, hey, it's a creeper, it's gonna creep up on you. And I was like, nah. And then like an hour later I'm like, hey, puro pinche
yeah.
party, way.
God damn it. I
And
remember that shit.
and then the eventual like throw up like that whole night.
Yeah. The colorful throw up.
Yeah, the thing that my brother and I have, that our little code name is for like Dos Equis, and we call them mañosas. So
Oh.
whenever we're drinking, we're like, "Ooh, you want a mañosa?" And he's like, "Yeah." So we go, and we have a rule like we cannot leave orphans in the fridge, so there can't be like one or two left over. Like we have to
Yeah.
finish them off.
Oh
Like
my
that's just a
God.
rule. But as far as my exposure to that stuff, like I'm not like my dad worked very laborious jobs. Like he worked for like a city, and he did a lot of hard work dealing with like electrical stuff and like just city maintenance and stuff. And I got used to the fact growing up to him coming home with like a sixer of natural light like every day. It was like $2. Come home, as soon as he sat down, he'd go outside and start watering the grass and just pop open a beer and just start drinking. And
Yeah.
I got used to that. I thought a sixer a day was not bad. Um, and because like it was like over a 4 or 5 hour period, so he was there and he was just taking his time, just drinking. I mean, like I know now that that stuff is like not too serious because like natural light is like Topo Chico with like a little bit of piss in it, and it's
Yeah.
like it's just like I don't know. I've just never had tendencies like that. Like honestly, like I had my first drink when I was like 18 years old, and I went to like a UT game with my brother and a buddy of mine, and we they gave me like Smirnoff, like it was actually Sky vodka, like malt drinks or whatever at the
Uh-huh.
time, kind of like a Zima, and it was cool. I got super drunk off like two of these drinks, and then we went to 9 a.m. football game, and I was hungover, and it was like super hot, but I hadn't drank until after that when I was like maybe 2 weeks before I turned 21. I had a beer, I had a Heineken, and I was like, "That's disgusting. I'm never gonna drink that again." And
Yeah.
now I love Heinies. Like they're like one of my favorite
Heinies.
beers. Yeah, I call them Heinies. So I don't know. As far as like the feeling is concerned, I don't like it. I like to drink every once in a while, but it's not like I don't chase that feeling because like once I get there, I'm like, okay, I want to sober up a little bit because I don't like feeling like
Yeah.
unnatural. To me, it's just
Yeah.
unnatural to feel like
Uh,
that.
but like this is where I was gonna say, it's funny, like people I've always heard the argument like, oh, you can have fun without being intoxicated. Like you can go out fun and have events. But the thing for me is if I'm doing something physical, I'd rather not drink. I'd rather be there physically. It's from the setting is if we're chilling, dude, and the mode is chill, like sit in the chair, sit around something, full of peds, and like we have good conversation. Yeah, I want to drink then. Like that for me, that is the vibe that I like. I like that experience of like if we're at the island, like it's like I cleanse or something, just watching the fucking water, watching people watching and shit, and then chilling with the family or with the friends, just a group of people. Enjoy drinking that way.
Do you enjoy pain, like the after effects of drinking a lot? Because like
Fuck,
I've had maybe two hangovers ever in my entire life, and
dude.
I was miserable, and I was like, I don't ever want to get to that point ever again. And I've seen you push it like 20 beers before, uh, one time when we were out, and it was
And show up
kind
to
of
your work the
scary
next
because
day.
and I start to worry because I'm like, I don't know how to. I only had like three or four, and I'm still chilling, but it was like a competition to you.
I've had bad hangovers where I'm like, oh man, yeah, it's great. I don't think of the consequence in the moment.
Yeah, there was a time where I would get super drunk in college and then have to go to work the next day. And there's one time where we partied to like 5 in the morning and had to go to work at 8. And I just had time to go to my trailer, take a shower, get dressed to go to work. I had to call somebody to pick me up and take me to work. And then they dropped me off. I walked in, and movies didn't start till like 10, so we had to do cleaning and stuff from 8 to 10. I couldn't do anything. Like I felt so sick. I was throwing up, and one of my friends that used to work there, she was just like, you know what, just hide in the maintenance closet. So I literally spent my whole shift. Like they clocked me out. I spent my whole shift like while she was working because she was gonna be my ride home. I sleep in the maintenance closet, and I just reeked of alcohol. Like my sweat was just beer, and
Drinking up.
I think that was the worst hungover I've ever had, and I never want to experience that again.
No, I've had a lot of bad, like literally 2 nights ago I had a bad hangover because like I did a double, and then Juan is back right from the road, and he had messaged me, hey man, if I turn on the pit to make some fajita, you wanna chill or what? when I got out of coach, and I'm like, yeah, dude, I'm down. And I'm like, I got out of coach, and I was like that shit, boy. And then I'm driving, and he's like, I was like, do I get more beer or what? And he's like, I bought a 12-pack. I've already had 2. He's like, you tell me. And I was like, those are rookie numbers, baby. Just like talking shit, right? Like I after work, I stopped by HEB in Harlingen. I got a 6-pack of an IPA, Lagunitas, and I love. This is my new favorite IPA. It's like a wonder. I'm gonna drink one of them after this one. That 6-pack, and I got a 6-pack of Modelo. I was like, fuck it, because I know Juan doesn't really like the craft beer. So I came home. I drank like 5 of the fucking IPAs and one of the Modelos. Like, the IPAs were enough because it was like 6% alcohol each fucking beer compared to something else. And I fucking like next day, dude, I had a bad hangover. My joints were hurting. Now it's like my joints hurt. My fucking knees, my fucking elbows, they hurt now, like with my hangover. And I just feel like groggy, super unfocused. And I'm just like, ugh. It was my day off. So I was like, yeah. That's why I was like, my days off, I like to push it. But sometimes if the thing for me is the unpredictability of events or like what might be said. Like, I don't know. Like, I kind of like that little thin conversation with people. Like, what's the thing that might unfold? Like, playing on that. I don't know. That's weird. That's a weird thing that I have with like drinking alcohol. It's like in the past, I've always been. Here's the thing, man. Is like I always like the past. I would drink with my close friend Cheeto, and there was nights where we'd be drinking here in San Benito at 10 p.m. For somehow we end up in Matamoros, dude, drinking at a fucking bar. Like it's just like in a blink of an eye. Like that's how deep I've gotten into shit. So in my head, I honestly subconsciously think like maybe I'm chasing this unpredictable event or situation when I try to drink. Like it's a weird thing. It's honestly a weird thing. The thing is, I don't feel like I abuse alcohol in a consistent basis. I think it's just like if I have 1 week and then 1 day out of this week, me and my friends are gonna chill, I'm gonna fucking like go at it. Like if it was, you know what I mean? Like I'm gonna fucking go at it. Like I don't know why I'm wired that way. It's fucking weird.
That stuff
You're-
terrifies me. Honestly, like the unknown freaks the shit out of me. Like I even doubt having a beer at the house or like at dinner, because if I work the following day or if anything were to happen and I'm not in a clear state of mind, like that terrifies me. That's just my natural anxiety taking over. But hearing you talk like that really tears up. Like it's starting to worry me.
Well, no, that's how it was in the past. Like I don't think I'm as bad now. I think the thing now is I can acknowledge when it's becoming an issue in my everyday life. Before it was just like I just no I had no care. No care. You know what I mean? Like I whatever came my way, I went for it. And now it's more like I'm conscious of the idea that like there's consequence for things that I may or may not do, you know? I think like this is why this is why I wanted to speak about this because I'm approaching this swing now again where I'm like it's becoming an issue for me. Now it's been more like health wise of like physically like I'm like I don't like the way I'm feeling, I don't like the way I'm looking, and it's like I'm also I'm drinking, but I'm also going to the gym at the same time, and like it's weird. It's a weird fucking combination of things.
I would never be able to do that.
Like I don't drink and go to the gym. I'm just saying like
No, but yeah, like when like I say when I drink, I feel sick. Like so
right.
if I were to drink like in the afternoon and like hours and hours have passed and I'm gonna go to the gym, I'm like, nah, I'm done for the day. Even the next day.
So as you crack open a third one on the podcast, what is the point of this, Alex? Like, what are you gonna do with it? Like, so are you trying to quit or are you trying to control it, or because we're like you said at the beginning, like this is kind of like an intervention and you're drinking.
It was
So
because I wanted to start the new year getting sober again. The longest I've gone was like 8 months.
I remember, yeah, you went a long
Yeah, but
time.
I was just to like think it was like a just to tell myself that like I can do it, and then coming out of that, I was like doing it, you know, like every now and then. Like I said, I don't think I'm as consistent as like I was even then. These last 2 months of this year, so I still just want to drink whenever it happens. I don't think I don't know. I feel honestly like I'm not ashamed to say this, but I don't think in the near future I'll ultimately cut it out completely. Like I want to go sober for a little bit to get fit again, and probably get back to it like mid next year or something. Like
When was the last time you went sober? I remember it was a while. When was that? Was that like 2 years ago? Maybe 3 years
yeah,
ago?
yeah, it was like 2 years ago.
Um, I don't know. I'm just noticing like a pattern. Like you say, you're talking about like hitting a rough patch and stuff like that. Yeah. So,
Yeah, like
um,
it's always wintertime where
Mm.
I tend to ramp up with like consumption of things.
Do you think it's like that seasonal depression type thing? Not that you have depression or
Oh
anything, but
no,
like, you
do
try to self medicate.
I do have a form of depression. I wouldn't say it's very strong. It's more anxiety than anything. I feel.
the
But
weather's getting cold, so you want the fuzzies. Is that what it is?
yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. It's like the warmth thing, dude. I don't know. It's weird. Like I'm not trying to defend. I know there's people that have legit fucking like problems and stuff, right? And I feel for them because I know I can acknowledge how crazy it can get, how and where I've been in my life, even before meeting you and shit. You know what I mean? And it's like I have never gone back to that level where I was back then. I've never even spoken about that stuff because it's like kind of a lot of shit. Like it's kind of heavy stuff, but like I don't know. Maybe it's because of that, like my past of like how much I did of all the kinds of stuff that I did as I was younger. I'm like as I'm older, I'm like reminiscent of that stuff for some reason. Like it's I always see it like shows or something and somebody talks about their past, the good old days, and it's kind of like a thing that they were like excited about and like they've changed as a person or whatever, and it's like a whole new person and stuff. Kinda, like weird like that kind of thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
But lately it's like I've been chilling with Eddie and Ben and stuff because Leo, we're part of this whole conglomerate thing, right, called Nasty Weekend that we chill with. And the fucking dudes, bro. Like I love those guys, and I've typically always just drank with them, or like Juan when he gets back from the road, he's always down, dude. Like he's always down to like we fucking drink away. Like literally before the podcast started, I had the setup already, and I had a Modelo right open. And he's like, he walks into the door and he's like, he always says "Joto," like he yells out to me, right? So we talk to each other. And I was like, "What's up?" And he's like, "What are you doing, Way?" Like talking me through the door, right? And I'm like, "Nothing, just chilling." And he comes in and like opens the door. He looks at the beer and he's like, "Oh, what the fuck, dude? Without me, dude?" Like, like nah, it's because like I'm gonna do a podcast with the boys, and he's like, "Oh shit, okay, okay." It's like dub, and like that's it. But like it's just funny. Like me and him are always down to share a brew. We're a lot alike in a lot of ways.
You guys are so cute. Like I love your friends, all of them. And speaking of Nasty Weekend, like you guys just launched, and I'm kind of upset that we didn't talk about it last week, but y'all launched a new song on all streaming platforms. I listened to it a few times on Spotify and then a couple times on Apple Music because I saw that it had the lyrics on there. Dude,
Yeah,
that shit was fire, dude. I fucking loved it.
yeah.
So
Thanks, man.
I really just want to ask, like, where did this originate from, and like how can you all come up with so much shit about your dick?
Dude, that's a perfect question for Eddie. I don't know. Like he's the fuel behind the dick talk. Like I was telling David the other day, like Eddie's so talented at formulating rhyme schemes. It's such a wasted fucking skill because he just talks about his dick. It's like you can talk about other shit, but you choose to talk about the worst shit. But- so yeah, we recently dropped a single called Matthew McConaughey. And
Yeah.
yeah, and like I like yeah. So like this single is a part of like a project that we made under Nasty Weekend. It's four of us. It's Eddie Skunks, it's Ben, Broke Ass Ben, it's Bruce Leo, and then me. This project was recorded in 2017.
What?
Like, early 2017. It's now 2021. It's like 4 years later that we're finally dropping the project. But at this moment in time, Juan was still living down here, but he moved away to Beaumont, the KD area. Sorry, and then he moved to Beaumont later. But so literally, like this is my first time like recording myself and shit. So I was in charge of recording us. So all of this music that you hear when we drop this project, for the most part, it's all recorded by me. There's a few verses by Bruce that he recorded here with Juan, but it's old music, dude. So like this song that we dropped that David's talking about, the Matthew McConaughey song, I have a funny like, I don't even know. I think we were just chilling and hanging out at Eddie's apartment, and like we watched like a special of a comedy or like Louis C.K. stand up, and he's talking about a scene in like Magic Mike where he's like, you know how Matthew McConaughey's super fucking sexy in that, like super ripped and shit. And he's like, I see a lot of lawbreakers out there, like that fucking thing. So then we started saying, all right, all right, all right. We started saying that, right? And the hook of the song is like, I'm going Matthew McConaughey, all right, because he says, all right, all right. Like that whole thing worked out from that. And like, dude, yeah, those dudes are just like, so it's just like a fire, and they're just constantly fueling it, and we all just kind of like add to this thing. But yeah, that we're gonna be releasing a bunch of little singles like that until we drop the project, like in November. Nasty Weekend.
When you were telling me about that, I thought that's like recording was recent. Like you had came up with the song pretty recently, but you said it was like from that far back.
Yeah, dude, from fucking 2017, and
Damn, dude.
yeah, and that's the thing is like it was like in 2017, so we were like trying to thinking of dropping it, and then in 2018, fucking Eddie left to Germany. I remember y'all telling y'all, right? Like he left to Germany. He was gone for a year. Came back 2019, and then we're all chilling stuff. Then late 2019, I fucking left. You know what I mean? So like it's constantly like we're in and out, right? And then so we were like, nah, it was too much group chat stuff. We weren't focused on it. And I finally came back, and then like the three of us are here. In like late 2020, I came back and stuff. So we're like, you know what? Let's put out the first project. And I remember way back then, do you know like when you go to Walmart and you buy a CD of like a famous like legendary artist, it'll be like the essential this person's art name, you know, the essential highwayman. So we were like I was like I think I thought of it, if I remember, I don't remember right. Might have been drunk. But I was like the essential Nasty Weekend, only the hits, but it's just a bunch of random songs. Like, you know, like they make that.
You should have gotten like now that's what they call Nasty Weekend.
Yeah, dude.
That's
Now,
fucking dope.
yeah, so we were thinking of like that, and then or like los mejores éxitos. You know what I mean? Like the best fucking hits. There's just a bunch of shitty songs.
Yeah, title Volume 2. There's no Volume 1.
Dude, we're literally that type of like, you know, our humor. You know that type of fucking setup. It's like literally, dude. So just a random quick tangent into this, but Eddie and my friend Ben, they've been doing a duo project, and I recorded their first song the other day, and they were like, dude, this is gonna be called Robot Jizz Interlude Part 2. And they're like, just so you know, mind you, it's me, Eddie, and Ben in the studio. He's like, just so you know, we recorded Part 2 first. And I'm like, yeah, I'm the only fucking witness to this whole fucking shitty situation. It's so stupid. Part 2, like it's so dumb. So we'll record Part 1 like 3 years later.
Like the
so
Star Wars.
dumb, dude.
This is like Star Wars, like the sequel,
Right.
the
Like a
sequel. Of the
Tarantino
prequels.
film, dude. It's like a Tarantino film. Shit's happening at different times.
I like how you called him a conglomerate earlier, like real business like.
Conglomerate. It's a dick and shit fart joke. Conglomerate.
Oh god.
Where the money's at,
Yeah.
dude. That's where the money's at.
Yeah,
Dude, honestly, it was great, and like you have a really unique cadence, and so does Eddie. Like y'all's delivery is like
Oh yeah.
top notch. Hands down, like everybody on the entire track's awesome, and like I just started screenshotting like all of the lyrics, and I'm like, oh man, I have to learn this. So one day I'm gonna walk in. Yeah, I'm gonna walk
Dude.
right up to you, and I'm gonna start flowing in your face. It's gonna be fucking funny.
Do it. It's awesome. I'm down.
Yeah, and if you're listening to this on the podcast, I'll probably put it at the end of the episode so you guys can check it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because we typed out the lyrics and stuff, so you can see the lyrics on Spotify or wherever you listen to shit. It's just ridiculous fucking lyrics.
It's so good, dude. Honestly.
So I kind of want to talk about this thing that's been going on for a while, but lately it's been like picking my attention, and it's a very serious thing that we need to talk about. That we need to put attention to the forefront of it, and that is soaking. And David, I keep saying soaking, and you just give me weird looks, and you never know what I'm talking about. I was like, I'll explain on the podcast. Well, this is what soaking is, right? Soaking is when a couple, and more specifically, like a Christian couple or like a Mormon couple, get together, and premarital sex is not uh smiled upon in the Mormon church. But to get around it is the man inserts his penis into the woman's vagina and just stays there. Like no friction, no movement, just interlocked in love. And technically, because there's no thrusting, there's no friction, there's no pleasure, it doesn't break the sanctity of, virginity. But what they do now to get around it is they have a third person join them in the bedroom, and that person jumps on the bed to provide the thrust that they need to, like, form get some sort of pleasure from it. And it's in the eyes of God, he's just like, they're not doing it, so it's totally okay. And I just thought it was a really interesting thing that's been going around all over social media recently. Then I knew about it before, like in high school and stuff, but I don't know why it's making a resurgence.
It saves them from burning in hell.
These are the people that are going to lead our country in a few years. Like,
I mean, Mitt Romney almost won the election like a few years ago. So, and he's a Mormon.
Oh no, he soaks.
He soaked. I'm pretty sure he soaked in fucking high school and college too. And I was telling Alex when I was telling him about this, I was like, it's so weird because, like, to not break the the sanctity of virginity and stuff, like, to them, like, it's vaginal penetration. So anal's fine, oral is fine, like, so there's like a whole generation of Mormon kids that grew up with their first sexual experience being anal. And then I was telling Alex, when they get married, they have like shitloads of kids. So it's like all that pent up like sexual energy is just released when they get married.
I remember mentioning, like, is this like? Because I would imagine that, like, anal for a woman, right? Like, I'm just speaking out of assumption, but like, it's not a very comfortable thing. Like, how much of, like, in pornography, because I watch a lot of porn, right? So how much in, like, porn do, like, the anal scenes and stuff, how much of them could have been past Mormons or something? You know what I mean? Like, or is that just a kink that's developed? Like, do some women just love anal? You know what I mean? Or it's like, how much of them are like Christians that are like, I don't want to. That's how they started as a youngin, and then they're like, you know what? They're not with the word of God anymore. They're with the word of cock. You know what I mean?
God damn it, son of a bitch.
I don't know. I was just like, no, it's like seriously like a interesting like idea. Is what I was asking, but who knows?
I knew somebody a while back that was a pastor's son, and I won't name names, but he was like girl crazy, and I'm like, how does that even work? Like, I know he's like, because he had a purity ring and all this other stuff, and he's like, oh yeah, and he's like, oh, I like girls, and I'm like, you've had a lot of girlfriends? He's like, yeah, and I'm like, how does that, as an adult, how does that work? He's like, well, I'm saving myself for marriage, but we do blowies and stuff, and I was like, what? He's like, yeah, we do blowies, and like, yeah, I mean, I've done stuff, but I've never had sex, and I'm like, it doesn't sound right.
Yeah.
But I mean,
It's
loopholes,
such
man.
a weird, loopholes. I was saying it's such a weird idea to like. One of the biggest tricks might be the religion, right? But the trick within the religion to like get across the barrier or the illegal things in religion to be like, I'll be okay if I just do oral, and it's like it seems like oral seems more like naughtier to me than like a natural way. Like,
Yeah, because one of them is strictly for pleasure. Like, it's not like for conception or for, like, in the primitive, like, we're gonna have sex to procreate type thing. Like, it's just
right.
one of them is for pleasure, and the other one,
And
that's
then
the one that
mind you, like So you're saying the oral ones for pleasure, right? Like,
Yeah.
mind you, that pleasure only goes one way, right? It's not like or like physical sense. Like I wouldn't think like if a girl is down on a man or the other, or vice versa. Only one person is in reality feeling essence and that sensation. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's kind of weird to me.
Yeah, I watched the Last Duel. It's like a movie with Adam Driver. You probably hate it, David, because of Adam Driver. And Matt Damon. He has a sick ass mullet in that movie. But there's the whole. I'm not gonna spoil it, but the whole thing, it's like based on a true story of some uh French like high level lady that got raped, and she gets pregnant, and they're like, she accuses Adam Driver's character of raping her because he did, and in the court, the scientists from the like 1800s are like, well, we all know that you can't get pregnant if you didn't experience pleasure. Sorry, the only way you can get pregnant is if you experience pleasure. So like you liked this thing that happened to you, and she's just like, well, no, I didn't experience any pleasure, and they call it the little death. But my point being is just like, it's just crazy how the meaning of sex, or like just understanding of it, just evolved over time. And it's after we had the discussion about it, things being too sexual now. Everything was just so taboo before.
Yeah. Then if you when the idea of like how much stuff is out there and the different types of inks and uh, interest in sexuality and stuff, like they're I don't know, it's kind of intense. It's intense in the sense of how much variety there is compared to, I would think, unless it's happening behind closed doors, even back then. You know what I mean? There's no way it's
Yeah,
not. It's just even more so. I think now there's different inventions or innovations of sexual pleasure for
yeah.
both sides.
I mean, there's a whole website dedicated to celebrity feet. Like,
Wiki feet. Yeah, I heard about that. Um, isn't it ironic, or yeah, there's some irony in the whole like religious thing and not having sex or whatever until marriage, but isn't contraception considered like a sin as well? Like you shouldn't be on like birth control or like using condoms whenever you are married. Like isn't it God's will to procreate as often as possible, or because like there's a show it's called the Duggars, and it's like 20. They have like 20 kids, and they've had like a child like every year, and then their children have children, and like they have some sets of twins, and it's just like a huge like polygamy family, and it's really weird. But like that is what real, I guess, a religious experience should be. Like, what about all these other Christians or these other people that we know that lean that way, that they only have like one or two kids? Like, how does that like? Are they sinning? Is that what?
Is this their modern adaptation? You know, to the new way of religion.
it also depends on the flavor of Christianity you practice. Like, there's so many like um flavors of it too, to use a that's a better word. But yeah, I think some like Catholics, that's against the Catholic religion, I think, and I think some other Christian churches don't really care. Um, like they even have like some women pastors, like, you know, and it's funny enough you bring up the Duggars, like, and I'm not saying that it's the experience with a lot of religious people, but wasn't one of them like a pedophile, like in the family, like he was abusing like his little sisters or something, and they tried to cover it up because they don't want to, you know.
It was one of the 16 middle children, not the two babies or the two eldest. It was like one of those, right in the middle.
God damn, dude.
But like it's so weird because like they're like, this is Caleb and this is Josiah and this is Isaiah, and it's all biblical names. It's all trashy, and but you got to think about it like that if she had to give birth to every single one of them, you it has to get easier ever like after the first 8, right?
There's two, man. Shit, like uh, the stories that I've seen, and just like when people talk about a woman's pregnancy, like it's like their body does some physical like transformations. Like it's kind of insane what happens. So like I can imagine. I can only imagine.
We know nothing. It's three like straight males who've never experienced childbirth. We're just talking shit. All right. So
Yeah,
calm the
yeah.
fuck
We
down.
don't know shit. This whole podcast is us not knowing a goddamn thing, except I drink alcohol.
I'm thinking after the third one, they just bring out a slip inside and they're just like, all right, see how many come out.
Legit. Fuck.
It's like Carol in Last Man on Earth, where she just pulls it out of herself and just like, right. It's got the umbilical cord stuck to it. It's so nasty.
Yeah.
Childbirth. Who knew?
Who
Not
knew?
me.
And just talking about like, the whole like sexual experience from like these Christians, Mormons and stuff. I kind of want to ask you, Alex, like, do you have any memorable like sexual experiences that not in a memorable like in the good sense, but
Yeah, yeah.
in
Oh, yeah.
in a just like I don't
Weird
know.
or what the fuck?
Yeah.
Really quick, did this stem from that conversation you brought up to me the other day where you were like in a trance and then you looked at me like, do you ever just like think about like things that could have changed your life? Is this what stemmed from it? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Have at it.
Oh, that's funny, dude. Yeah, let me riff on that. Is like I tend to think about that too. Like, what would have happened if I didn't go to this place, didn't meet this person, or if I did say yes to doing this thing or whatever? Yeah, that's kind of funny. And that's wasted fucking thought right there. Like,
I mean,
I've too many times
we,
where
we
I
can
fucking
we can circle back to that in a different podcast.
yeah, for sure. I'm down. Well, I guess. I mean, y'all have heard y'all personally have known my stories, of my past of like getting into things that I don't think I've talked about on the podcast, and I'm not going to talk about that specific one, right? but and but this wasn't even that recent, or it might have been. It probably happened like 4 years ago, right? But uh, one time, me and this significant other, we were chilling at the island, just like hanging out on the beach and stuff, right? I wouldn't say it's bad or good. It's just kind of like a thing that happened. We're just chilling on the beach and at South Padre, and like we're just chilling there, like in the evening, going into nighttime. It's kind of going into nighttime already. Like the sky's kind of orange and stuff, and we're like kind of hanging out. I'm drinking a beer, they're chilling, and I was like, "Hey, what's up? Like it's kind of empty out here. We're kind of further out on the beach, like." You want to try something, right? So like we kind of walk away. You know how like you're on the beach, the flat area, and behind like flat area, it's like the dunes, like
Mhm.
dunes through there. So we go towards the dunes and stuff, kind of lay out like a towel and stuff. We kind of not to try to paint a picture, but we kind of get it on, get it going and stuff, and like midway into this thing, start hearing voices. No lie. Like I start hearing voices like perfectly like clear conversations happening behind me, like further past the dunes. I'm like, "Oh shit." And I kind of like tell her like, "Hey, like here's somebody, right?" It's like, "What the fuck?" And we kind of like stop, like get clothed again. Then like I'm like, "Let's fucking check it out." And like we kind of go past over there, like just literally not even 10 feet where we were. Go over, there's a fucking fireworks stand right past the fucking dunes with a bunch of people buying fireworks, dude. Like there's just a whole, and like for some reason it didn't like it the voices didn't come in until like the midpoint into the situation that we were doing. And I was just like, what the fuck? Like somebody could like either just cross right away or like, dude, there was a few people at this fireworks stand and we were just cracking up about it the whole fucking time. Like,
Oh
what
my
the
god.
fuck, dude? Did we just really do that? So that's kind of the experience that I wanted to bring up because it's like kind of funny, kind of like, oh shit, it's weird. Yeah, I don't know how good I feel about that.
Yeah, mine was like almost exactly the same. Except it wasn't with your significant other. No, I'm just kidding. Um, it was. I remember like in high school, just not having a place to do anything. So it was always like, hey, let's meet up at the car in a car at the park or something. And I remember like going to the park with the intention to go like run, like as a couple. And then there's like this little ditch like outside the city park where I live, and
Fuck,
and
dude.
it's not like it's like a deep ditch. Like it's like it's you
And
go
not-
out, you go down, you go down, and there's like a access road, and then there's another further ditch like under that, and the grass was high, like super tall. We're like, we can just hide in there. So sure enough, we go in there, do our thing, and then we finish up, and I get up and I turn around, and there's this dude just staring at us, like sitting in a park bench. Like for some reason, we didn't even see that bench there. Like, he just had a straight ass ankle to us. He was just sitting there watching us the whole time,
God.
and we're like, I think it's time to go.
Oh no, dude! What the fuck? That's the thing, dude. What is that? Like, why are we just fueled by this fucking thing to do the action that you don't notice other variables? Like I said, like how come we go over it, there's a bunch of people there and I didn't hear them till like after the thing is done. You know what I mean? Like, what the
I-
fuck is that? It's so
I-
weird.
I really think that post nut clarity is a thing. Like
Uh,
once you get
Yeah.
into like the zone, and you're just like, I'm gonna spread my seed, and then after that's
Shame.
done,
Yeah.
you're everything like you're like this, like you're focused in, and then everything just expands. Like
Yeah. You see the world, you see yourself, who you really are. What the fuck am I doing? That post nut clarity, dude. Hashtag, dude. PNC. Jesus Christ. Well, shit. Thanks for listening. We're gonna end it on that post nut clarity. If y'all have ever had any post nut clarity, let us know. Let us know on our Instagram. Check us out at Laughing Death Podcast. Message us if you've had any post nut clarity. This goes for both genders or whatever genders are out there. Let us know what's up and your weird sexual experiences. I'm kind of interested in this, especially when Fernie brought it up. And check us out on YouTube. It's a Laugh and Death podcast on YouTube. Follow us, subscribe to us, listen to us on Spotify and iTunes, Apple Music.
And I mean, if you guys want any topics discussed, like we haven't really brought that up lately, but hit us up on the Instagram or on YouTube, a comment, let us know, and make sure you stick around and listen to Alex's Nasty Weekend Conglomerate song, Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah, Matthew McConaughey.
all right,
But
all
yeah.
right, all right.
Thank you for listening. My name is Alex,
I'm Fern.
I'm Dave.
and we're the Laugh and Death podcast. And we'll catch you on the next episode.
Peace.
Goodbye.
Peace.
What a moment in time, trying holding a rhyme with a dime, slowly open a mind in prime time in the thick of the grime. Slide when I'm picking a side, and bye to the pricks and the prize. No surprise, I'm the ripping the tide, the prick in your pride, the shiv in your side. Cause we kick sick shit in the whip at the side, the thickets and highs, no pickets and cries. Just a little bit of sticking with why, and you break when you stick in the try. While we flip a 1-6 like we finished that side, never snicker and bite. Meanwhile, by the piece of my pie, could be sheesh, I'm a big guy, peace in the sky. How I please that peace when I'm fixing to die. When I'm gone, don't cry, just finish my lines. Put a spliff in the air, call it saying goodbye. I'm going Matthew McConaughey. Alright. I'm going Matthew McConaughey. All night.
I'm going Matthew McConaughey.
Alright.
I'm going Matthew McConaughey.
All night.
Have you heard about the monster? Eddie Skunks when he on some. This a raw one.
She said my dick tastes like pussy I had yesterday. Bitch, don't stop with them chess games. Last time that you checkmate. Why the fuck do you expect a date? Never trust a hoe from Section 8. I'm just kidding. I'm in charge of the fucks, not giving. All I know is my nuts need licking. I'm thinking that you would give me the sucker. Stop spitting. Here we go, I'm being raunchy. Cheerio, I'm feeling squanchy. Returning back, your bitch is scrunchy. Leaving as the village haunts me. I'm most wanted. I got a cock and most of these hoes want it. They get shocked whenever these hoes on it. I won't stop to the day that I see hunters. Multiply, why you so surprised the vulture flies? It's the coldest night for those who died. Let me host the night of poacher gospel.
Sitting with my domies, so throw. Now you motherfuckers know me. With a cold piece, police hanging down from a hook in my room. Now you know what it do when we run through your crew with some blunts and some brews. Never ask, only choose. Getting gassed every time we get that front butt. Stuck up like a motherfucking slut, bruh. Crunk juice in my motherfucking cup, huh? Yeah, we stay, you know. Came with the flame and the play a song. Train every day, got the say in blood. Cake is up, straight to the face, never gave a fuck. Rinsing a Vic, gonna spray you up and throw you down beneath the mug, beneath the streets, beneath the ones you used to love. The Vega bros have woken
I'm
up.
going Matthew McConaughey.
Alright.
I'm going Matthew McConaughey.
All night. I'm going Matthew McConaughey. Alright.
I'm going Matthew McConaughey.
All night.
Bibbidi bobbidi bo. I'm sticking my dick in her throat. Metallica all on the shirt. That's a band that she's never heard. Go ahead, girl, do your thing. Don't be mad, I'm just saying. The many things come and leave, like pussy, money, friends, and weed. Cause back home in the valley, a lot of hoes couldn't stand me. I lay low with my family, roll with the black sheep, flow hella nasty, smoke dope with the popo like last week, chokehold every mofo that's acting, Frodo with the go rope, start blasting, tool inside the coat, go gadget.
I'm going Matthew McConaughey.
Alright.
I'm going Matthew McConaughey.
All night. I'm going Matthew McConaughey. Alright.
I'm going Matthew McConaughey.
All night.